The U.S. Senate passed another short-term funding fix for Aurora's VA hospital this week that should keep the project funded through the fiscal year. Senators Michael Bennet and Cory Gardner are also working on amendments that would change how future major projects are managed. Mike, it's the VA all over again. It's the story that won't quit. What'd you make of this week's developments?
Another week, another Band-Aid on the VA. Listen, members of our delegation have done a good job fighting for the project's completion and trying to get some traction with it. However, at a certain point, voters here are going to start taking issue with the fact that there's no permanent solution. Congress is no longer divided. We have Republican control of the House and the Senate. There's a big question about whether or not the Republican members of the delegation will start to take some heat for not being able to convince their colleagues to get this across the finish line.
Patty, what do you think? I mean, Mike raises a good point that you have the House and Senate both Republican. Should that mean a long-term funding fix should be out there?
Well, we would hope so, but we haven't. Our delegation needed to make a little more noise a little earlier, but now they are putting up a good fight. These are the people who deserve to be treated well. So now we have a solution, and they haven't looked at yet. We discovered there's a boutique hotel owned by the Veterans Administration in Paris, which of course they need. Why don't we just put up the vets in Colorado who need help at the Brown Palace?
Crazier ideas have been mentioned. Mike, what do you think about the topic?
I don't think there's never been much doubt but that the VA hospital is going to get built. I mean, Congress was going to find the money. This project was going to get finished. It's not like they're going to leave it half done. And no one's going to step in and buy it because no private hospital corporation is crazy enough to take on a hospital. The average hospital is about $500,000, $500,000 a bed. And we're up at $9 million a bed now. I mean, nobody's going to step into that project. Here's the bigger question, though, is that a lot of the same people in Congress and a lot of the same advocates for veterans who might say oppose or might be critical of, say, Obamacare because they call it socialized medicine, are also willing to spend any amount of money to ensure that our veterans continue to receive the purest form of socialized medicine we have in this country, which is the VA, which is government-run, government-owned hospitals, government-employed doctors. We don't do this with any other aspect of our veterans' benefits. The VA doesn't buy veterans' houses. They guarantee loans for veterans. They don't send them to government schools. They give them a tuition. So one of the long-term fixes is going to need to be the VA is going to need to looking at ways to further privatize the system to send veterans out into the private sector when they're not getting what they need from the VA.
Eric, wrap it up for us.
Well, Mike here next to me referred to another week, another Band-Aid. I regard it another week, another tourniquet on this project. It's become a never-ending news story. As Patty says, no one who has served this country deserves quality, the highest level of health care we can provide more than our veterans do. But in my mind, why don't we give them all vouchers for the best private health care that they can have? Let's turn this project over to the National Park Service and maybe turn it into a monument to government waste and charge admission, and it can be a national symbol for a government run amok.
That would at least finish faster.